All right, welcome back. This is our final video in the automation setup series for onboarding for LO1 indicator. So in this video, we're going to cover connecting multiple strategies to multiple accounts in TradingView and TradersPost. So in the last video, we covered one account in TradingView. So having one indicator connected to one alert through a webhook, we connected TradersPost to a strategy, and then we connected your account, your brokerage account, through a subscription to that strategy. So that is the automation flow for one account. We're going to overview multiple accounts and multiple indicator instances. So what this shows is a horizontal view of how we connected that account that you have. So where we connected a 50K prop account to a strategy in TradersPost, which was connected to your LO1 indicator through an alert that uses a webhook to connect to your TradersPost strategy. That account was set up as a $300 risk for a 50K prop firm account. Now, that may or may not be what we suggest, so make sure that you check on our members resource hub or the articles, talk to us on Discord to make sure that you're using your right configuration. And again, we will have a configuration and settings video after this that you can follow for a more advanced setup. These are just examples. So this was the setup that we had for the one account, one strategy. In this video, we're going to cover doing multiple accounts. Now, for doing multiple accounts or multiple strategies, you will want to set up a new LO1 indicator instance for each of those strategies. So in this example, there is a 70K, let's say you have a cash account, that's 70K through interactive brokerage. So you're going to connect a separate strategy in TradersPost to a separate indicator instance in TradingView and connect that through an alert. And then finally, this is a vertical view of the same horizontal strategy that we have. So here is our 50K prop firm account with 300 risk profile in TradingView connected to the same strategy in TradersPost. And then this particular one is connected to one prop firm and a subscription. And then we will show you how to set up a second account. So if you have two accounts that you're setting up with the same risk settings, then you can set up multiple accounts. In this example, we're just going to use two accounts, but you can connect, let's say you have 10 accounts that you want to connect to the same risk strategy, then you can connect as many as you want to each strategy in TradersPost. So again, in this setting, we have three different examples of risk settings that we're setting up. So a 50K prop firm at $300 per trade risk, then that 70K live indicator or cash for $500 a trade, and then a 100K prop firm. Now let's say these are both with Apex, but you have a 150K account, or let's say you have two 50K prop firms accounts and 100K prop firm account, but you want to risk 600 per trade. So that means that you have to have three separate indicator instances, three separate strategies. So you have an alert for each one of these instances, and then you have your subscription for each account. So each account has its own subscription. Each strategy in TradersPost is connected to its own indicator in TradingView. So that's the overview. Now let's set it up. Okay, so we're going to start in TradingView and we're going to add a new indicator for each strategy. We already have set up that one strategy and the one alert for our 50K prop account. So now we're going to add two more strategies. So we're going to basically copy this here. So let's add two more indicators. So click on that once, you see it pop up. Click on it again. Now we see two strategies. Go to Settings, Style, go all the way to the bottom. We're going to get rid of all of these extra labels and inputs. Nice and clean there. Do it again. And there we go. So this one we're going to configure for your 50 or 70K cash account. So go to inputs. Now these are not suggested settings. These are just something that we're doing for the purpose of this video. So we're setting it up just like what we've configured here in our presentation. So $500 risk on our 70K account. That's what we're using as an example for this cash account. And then this will be the 100K account. Let's say we want to do 2,500 total risk and $600 per trade for our 100K account. Okay, now that these indicators are set up in TradingView, let's go to TradersPost and set up strategies for those. Now you can see that we've got one already. We've got one strategy already. So clicking on the strategy tab, you can see here's our strategy with our subscription for our 50K prop firm account. Now, anytime that you're creating a new strategy with LO1, you can go ahead and just clone that account, or that strategy rather. And everything will stay the same except your name. So this will be the 70K prop account, or excuse me, sorry, 70K cash account. And just, I like to double check that we've got futures checked and our subscription defaults say allowed both sides. Again, this is an update in TradersPost. We do not want this button checked before we had it checked. TradersPost reversed this setting. So nothing else except allowed both sides on that is on the default setting. And then go ahead and enable it and click Save. Back to the Strategy tab, you can see we've got our 70K and our 50K strategy. So let's add one more by cloning. And this is going to be a 100K prop account. Again, futures is checked. Go to the defaults at the bottom. Both sides is allowed. Click Close. I like to make sure it's enabled before I click Save. In either case, you go to your strategy homepage and you can simply enable or disable here, but you want to make sure that all of your strategies are enabled. Now next to this, you can see some of the settings are outlined here. So it says both sides here, and you can see our one subscription to the 50K account here and 0 subscriptions to our 70K and 100K accounts. So we want to add more subscriptions. So let's go to subscriptions here. Now, in this case, we can clone because it's going to go to the same strategy. So if it's going to the same strategy, we can call this number 2. And you want to make sure that the broker is correct. So if you have multiple prop firms, multiple brokers, you want to click this arrow. But since we're only using the paper account for this example, everything will be on the paper account. But in your case, you want to make sure that you drop down and find your correct broker. Now, the first thing we always do is click Enabled before we double check that manual is submitted. If you click Disable, it will default to manual submit. So it'll go to whatever the prior setting was. So if you first always have to click enabled, make sure that the auto submit is on. And then we're going to double check both sides is checked and nothing is checked under this enable canceling orders. I always like to scroll to the top, make sure enabled is checked before I click save. And now when you go back to the strategies, you see that we have 2 subscriptions for our 50K prop account. So now let's go create those subscriptions. So let's create a new subscription for the 70K account. This is our broker. It will allow you to select if you have multiple brokers. It'll have them listed there, and it will also be listed here. Now, again, we want to make sure that you click Enabled before you click Auto Submit. Let's go down and check. We should, by default now, have allowed both sides on there. And then I always like to check that this is not checked. Go back to the top, enabled, click Save. And there you can see our 70K cash subscription. And you can see that that's attached to the 70K strategy. So again, let's add that 100K prop strategy. Click New Subscription, select your 100K account, select your brokerage, rename the account to something you can see, make sure it's connected to the correct broker, and then click Enable, Auto Submit. Make sure both sides is checked, that this is not checked, and then I like to go to the top, click, make sure it's enabled before you click Save. Okay, so now when you click on the Subscriptions tab here, we can see all 4 subscriptions. Now look at our presentation here. We have 4 accounts, 4 subscriptions for those 4 different kinds of accounts. Go to Strategies. We have our 3 strategies. You can see here 2 subscriptions on the prop firm, 50K prop, 1 subscription on the 100K prop, and 1 subscription on the 70K cash account. All 3 are enabled. This is exactly as we wanted this to be set up. So now the last thing is we have our indicators in LO1. We have to make sure that we have our alerts. That's the last step, is putting this alert to connect TradingView to TradersPost. So we do that by checking on our Strategies tab and then go right here to webhook. So I clicked on the button and now copy this webhook. Now this right here you can see is our 100K props account. So we've copied the web account. And now let's go to TradingView, add the alert. We're always going to do alert function calls only, interval, 1 minute, open-ended alert. Under the message, let's rename this 100K prop. We want this to match. And then in the notifications, let's double check that this is the correct webhook. It says 8A6F. Double check that's correct before you click apply. And then create. Now this should populate. Let's go back to strategies and let's get the webhook for the 70K. So click in first and then go to webhook, copy. The last 4 is 7671. So let's go to this, add alert, alert functions only, 1 minute chart, open-ended alert. Let's rename this 70K cash. And then go to notifications, webhook. Keep in mind you have to have 2-factor auth in mind, or you have to have that enabled rather. 7671 are the last 4 on this, matching. Click apply and then create. And then here on the right hand side we should see that all 3 of our alerts are enabled. It takes a minute, and active. All right, so now we've got our webhook that connects our indicator to our TradersPost strategies. So we've got our 3 strategies and our 3 alerts connected with three alerts to our indicator. One final note here is that anytime there is a news update or any other kind of update which will be announced in our Discord channel, they usually happen on Sunday nights. You want to make sure to update the alert, and then when you update the alert, you want to go to the settings for the alert over here, and then you want to click on this condition button. And since this is the most current version, it's on the top here, but anytime you update, there will be a new version at the bottom. And so the next one will be version 24 you'll want to make sure and select that at the bottom, and then before you click save. Do that for each of your alerts and make sure that those are updated when they show up in the news Discord channel every week. I think that's it for multiple accounts and multiple indicators. Thank you very much.